This video explores a high-level 800-meter battle where tactics and patience played a key role. We'll walk through the race step by step, highlight the turning point, and explain how the final sprint determined the outcome in dramatic fashion.
In lane number 8, the South African number 2 after Caster Semenya, 2:03.56 this season. Adele Tracy of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, third at the UK Championships. This is the big race for the British athlete. She's contesting for the one remaining place in Britain's European Championship squad. Then the tall figure of Christina Herring of Germany, 4 times the German indoor champion, semi-finalist in Rio at the Olympics, 2 minutes exactly .48 this season. Then Raven Rogers of the USA, second at the US Championships, 1:58.57, a lifetime best this season. Anna Sabat of Poland, Polish indoor champion last year and this year, in personal best form, 2:01.9 this season. Samoya Campbell of Jamaica. She's lining up in this event after scratching from the 1500 meters yesterday. Boufaridane of France starts in lane number 2, 2:02.55. That's what she's done this season, the French athlete. The women's 800 meters. That's Adele Tracy. She was one of the secret 7 young athletes who lit the 2012 Olympic cauldron here. That was 6 years ago. Now, she's one of the best that we have in Britain. So on paper, Raven Rogers of the USA, 5th at the World Indoor Championships in Birmingham a few months ago. Has increased her speed over 400 meters this year to just over 52 seconds, Rogers. So she's the quickest on paper, but down the back straight for the first time. Keep an eye on Britain's Adele Tracy. A good run by Lindsay Sharp in Rabat a couple of days ago. That third place up for grabs to potentially join Laura Muir and Shalana Oshigan-Clark, but it's the French athlete who's happy to take this one up, followed by Tracy of Great Britain and Northern Ireland.
Yes, Boufaridane keeping it really reasonably honest, and Adele Tracy, who is knocking on the door of breaking 2 minutes, staying very close to her, running a smart race here. To be fair though, Raven Rogers almost 2 seconds better than anybody else this year. The American there in 3rd place, looking very cool. The gap though to the leading pair is about 4 or 5 meters at the bell, and they come through, and that's a solid 400-meter time, Catherine, 59.79.
Well, it is. We've got a breakaway at the moment. Rogers will be keeping track behind Herring, the German, in 3rd. The American's got a bit of work to do. But down the back straight, it's France against Great Britain and Northern Ireland. She looks like she's smiling, Adele Tracy, but she's putting some work in here. Raven Rogers now trying to make a move. The Briton goes into the lead with 200 meters to go. Britain, France, United States of America and Jamaica. The crowd rise to their feet and rise the volume for their British athlete. But here comes Raven Rogers, the American. The Jamaicans following her. Tracy into the home straight. But here comes the fastest in the field, Raven Rogers. On her way to 8 points for the American team. A fast finish from the German, Herring in 4th. The Britain will hold on for 2nd. But America take the win, 2 minutes .2. A 59.7 lap. A 60-second lap at the end. And another American victory here. And just outside the magical 2-minute barrier for the American.
Well, she just oozed confidence, didn't she, Raven Rogers? Through that first lap, didn't mind being 5, 6, 7 meters down at the bell. The 400-meter time was pretty quick by Boufaridane of France, who ended up in 6th place in 2:06. It was maybe a little bit optimistic for an athlete with a best of outside 2:02. Raven Rogers there, producing the goods for the USA, who just go on and on, racking up the points. Adele Tracy, I thought she might be under real threat there coming down the home straight, but Samoya Campbell had hit the blocks too, and they were both flat out through the last 50 or 60 meters. So good points for Britain.
Yeah, you see on the replay, Tracy did nothing wrong for Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Just shy of her lifetime best, coming in 2nd at 2:01.05. But Raven Rogers, 21 years old, 5 times the US collegiate champion, represented the University of Oregon, an Oregon Duck. They're very excited about her in America, and I can understand why. A controlled win and a good win again for America.
Yeah, really good leg speed from Raven Rogers. Don't forget she's run 158.5 this year. She is in the world top 10 for 2018 and frankly totally controlled that race. But Adele Tracy giving everything, gritting throughout that last 200, and that was a sterling effort.
So you can probably hear a little bit of Michael Jackson going around the London Stadium here this evening. But she started the interviews already, Raven Rogers, about her experience here at the London Stadium. Confirmation of the women's 800 metres then. A win for Rogers, 2 minutes, 0.2. Good points for Great Britain and Northern Ireland for Adele Tracy. And Campbell of Jamaica picks up 6 points for the Jamaican squad.
The women's 800 meters at the Athletics World Cup in London turned into a gripping tactical battle that evolved into a dramatic sprint finish, showcasing just how unforgiving and unpredictable middle-distance racing can be. What initially seemed like a measured, strategic contest quickly escalated into a fierce clash between athletes representing the United States, Great Britain, and Jamaica, with the outcome hanging in the balance until the final strides. Before the race began, much of the attention centered on Raven Rogers. Despite her young age, she had already built an impressive profile, highlighted by a season's best of 1:58.57. Her combination of endurance and raw speed, particularly a 400-meter capability hovering around 52 seconds, made her one of the most dangerous finishers in the field. Unlike some of her rivals, Rogers did not rush into an early position. Instead, she settled into the race with composure, clearly relying on her ability to close hard in the final stages. Great Britain's Adele Tracy entered the race with something to prove. She was chasing consistency at the highest level and aiming to break firmly into the sub-2-minute category. Competing on home soil added both pressure and motivation, and from the early stages, she positioned herself assertively near the front, determined to stay in contention. Jamaica's Samoya Campbell, known for her resilience and race intelligence, approached the competition with patience, ready to capitalize on any opening in the later phases. The race began at a controlled but purposeful pace. The early tempo was honest, avoiding the extremes of a slow tactical jog or an overly aggressive start. France briefly dictated the rhythm, while Tracy remained alert just behind the leaders. Rogers, in contrast, stayed slightly off the pace, conserving energy and carefully monitoring the developing dynamics. When the bell rang to signal the final lap, the clock read 59.79 seconds, a split that demanded both endurance and precision over the remaining distance. At that moment, Rogers was not among the front runners. A visible gap separated her from the leaders, raising doubts about whether she could bridge it in time. However, the race began to shift dramatically on the back straight. With approximately 200 meters remaining, Tracy made her move. She surged decisively into the lead, drawing energy from the crowd and momentarily taking control of the race. The stadium responded with excitement, sensing a potential home victory. Behind her, Campbell reacted quickly, adjusting her position and preparing to challenge. Rogers, however, remained composed. Rather than responding immediately, she waited, calculating, conserving, and preparing for one decisive push. That patience proved critical. With around 120 meters left, Rogers launched her attack. Her acceleration was smooth yet powerful, her stride opening up as she rapidly reduced the distance to the leaders. There was no sign of panic in her movement, only controlled aggression. Tracy, already committed to her surge, fought to maintain her advantage, but the effort began to take its toll. Campbell continued to press from behind, adding another layer of pressure in the closing meters. As they entered the final stretch, Rogers' superior speed became undeniable. Step by step, she reeled Tracy in before moving past her with authority in the closing moments. The finish line came just in time to seal her victory in 2 minutes and 20 seconds, narrowly missing the symbolic 2-minute mark, but delivering a performance of exceptional quality. Tracy crossed the line in second place with 2 minutes 1.05 seconds, a result that reflected both determination and progress. Campbell secured third in 2 minutes 1.59 seconds, completing a tightly contested podium. The final lap, covered in approximately 60 seconds, underscored Rogers' tactical intelligence and mental strength. She never appeared rushed, even when trailing at a critical point in the race. Instead, she trusted her strategy, timed her move perfectly, and executed with precision. Her performance highlighted the importance of patience and confidence in middle-distance racing, where one well-timed surge can redefine the entire outcome. For the United States, the victory reinforced their depth and strength in the 800 meters. For Great Britain and Jamaica, it was a reminder of how narrow the margins are at the elite level, where even a near-perfect race can still fall just short. Ultimately, this was more than just a fast race. It was a masterclass in tactics, timing, and competitive instinct, with Raven Rogers delivering when it mattered most.